Is drought-tolerant landscaping actually expensive? Here's what you need to know about the long-term cost. When homeowners look at a fully mature custom succulent garden, complete with architectural focal points, permeable stone pathways, and comfortable outdoor living spaces, the immediate assumption is it requires some massive, unattainable budget. But judging by the cost of a landscape solely by its installation price is fundamentally flawed. It's like looking at a sticker price of an electric vehicle without calculating the gas you'll save over the next 10 years. To understand the true cost of drought-tolerant landscaping, we have to shift our perspective. We have to stop looking at our yards as a one-time purchase and start looking at them as long-term financial assets. Today, we are going to transparently break down the finances of sustainable landscaping. We will look at the reality of upfront cost versus long-term maintenance, the undeniable math of water consumption, and how these designs scale to fit surprisingly accessible budget levels. Let's address the first major factor, initial cost versus long-term maintenance. There is no avoiding the fact that a proper drought-tolerant installation requires an upfront investment. You're paying for heavy materials like structural borders, flagstone pavers, imported soil, premium mulch. You're also paying for fully mature, climate-adapted botanicals so that the garden looks established on day one. But let's compare that to traditional grass lawns. A grass lawn is not a landscape. It is a subscription service. When you have turf, you're committing to weekly mowing. You're paying for seasonal fertilizers, weed control, aeration, and sprinkler repair. When you pay for a crew or sacrifice your own weekends, the compounding cost of that labor over 5 to 10 years is astronomical. Sustainable design is a front-loaded investment. By engineering the yard correctly from the ground up, you're virtually eliminating those ongoing chores and buying back your time. The second and perhaps most impactful financial factor is the water comparison. Grass is incredibly thirsty. In most climates, it's a plant constantly fighting its natural environment to stay alive, demanding constant irrigation. When you transition to drought-tolerant model, you stop fighting the climate. By replacing thirsty turf with permeable hardscape like gravel and stepping stones, water can actually reach the soil naturally. When paired with thick mulch and drought-adapted botanicals, the water savings are immediate. Homeowners typically see a drastic reduction in their outdoor water bills. Month over month, the utility savings alone begin to pay down the initial cost of the installation. In regions with tiered water pricings, staying in a lower usage tier can save you thousands of dollars over the lifespan of the garden. The third thing to understand is that drought-tolerant landscaping is not an all-or-nothing proposition. It scales to your specific financial comfort zone. You do not have to commit to a massive, property-wide renovation on day one. In fact, you can begin transitioning your yard with an elegant modular option starting with a highly accessible entry-level investment. At the starting tier, you can replace a problematic water-heavy corner of your property with a beautifully curated succulent border. From there, you can scale up over time. You might eventually integrate larger architectural elements like replacing water-heavy lawns with custom patios, retaining walls, or fire pits as your budget allows. So is drought-tolerant landscaping expensive? If you only look at the first day, it requires capital. But when you factor in the elimination of weekly maintenance, the drastic reduction of your water bill, and the value it adds to your property, the narrative changes. It's not an expense. It's an investment in a smarter, more sustainable way to live.